Here's the other thing that both comes out in the book and and the film is your personal story, which is difficult at times.
Well, you got a wooden leg here, mate.
I'm wondering how important it was for you to kind of tell that.
Yeah, well, I think everyone has their own version of events. Well, I thought, I always felt, I should write a book, not like, because it's trending now. Everybody's ever picked up an instrument writes a book about their life.
Yeah.
I did
or not, as the case may be.
Yeah, preferably not. But, I did it quite early on. I always felt I could do it. And I thought, well, I got actually a pretty interesting story because I really went through so many changes and struggles in my life to get to this wonderful place of being in a hit band and all that, and it was a story worth telling with lots of emotional ups and downs. And do I get into the point here, or am I missing it?
You're doing fine.
I obviously I didn't write it for any commercial reasons. I felt like I don't know if I even wrote it for cathartic reasons. I just felt I can write a book. I've got it in me,
I'm wondering if it also helped you to kind of put that whole experience in perspective.
I think that's true. I think it does. Yeah, because maybe there's some sort of subconscious or whatever thing in you that kind of wants to deal with this phenomenal, absolutely overwhelming life experience, what we went through, because we weren't just a band with one little hit record. We were like a worldwide phenomenon, like the Beatles. It was kind of incredible. Any country we went to, it was amazing. So, I think there's a need at some level to process it. And I mean, clearly, writing a book was one way to do it. Mm-hmm. But, it was a joy for me to go through the writing experience and work at it like making a record or anything. I had to work at it and think about it and edit it, and I wrote too much, and I prepared it. It's a process.
Sure.
You get to deal with writing.
I believe it was George Harrison who said, the Beatles were never better than they were in the years in Hamburg, and I'm wondering if there is some analogy for the Police. When were the Police at their best?
It's really, that's probably true, actually, it's a good one, because I think back about some of the early gigs we did, where we were actually much more open in the jamming, and it just wild, and, we just play for hours, and that's the way it was. It was a lot more unconstrained.
Yeah.
What happens, fortunately or unfortunately, you have a lot of hits. As the years roll by, we've massed up like 15 to 20 worldwide hits. And the tickets have gotten expensive. Now we're in this cage that we built where we go out. We can't just go out there and jam at the Omnisphere in Atlanta. We got to play the bloody songs. We have to play those hits. People expect them. Yeah. So the whole thing tightens up. You can't just go, well, we're going to take you on a jazz odyssey tonight. We're not going to do that. No,
that would not be good.
No. But of course, by the time we did the reunion tour, you got tickets at $400 each or whatever. It's absolutely all the hits.
Right.
But I cherish the early days. But I would also add one thing to it is that, whether what George said is true or not, when we did the reunion tour, I certainly did not see it as an exercise in nostalgia. I thought we're better than we ever were. Mm-hmm. The sound is better. We put in a lot more time as practicing musicians. Yeah. I thought we played better than we ever played.
And by the way, you guys, you opened the Grammy show that year. I forget what year that was.
Yeah, we did.
09 or
07, I think.
07, whatever. Well, anyway, you killed it. It was ridiculously great. So fair warning. I'm going to ask for a couple questions from the house here in just a second. I want to talk for a minute though about your solo career.
Yes.
So you put out any number of a couple of great records with Robert Fripp that are just terrific, and you've got a record that's out today.
Came out. Yeah, it's on Amazon today.
Yeah, called Metal Dog.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, this new CD, it's an instrumental record.
Uh-huh.
I think it's been about 5 years since the last record I did. Oh, maybe I did. I did another one. I didn't put it out. It's all instrumental, but
All you other musicians?
no,
on
it's
this?
all me. Actually,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
played everything on it. Drums as well. The original impulse for it was to write for a dance company in New York, which I was collaborating on with a visual artist in New York, who's been way slower than I to come up with the visuals. Meanwhile, I've like done hours of music.
Yeah.
So it got like a little bit frustrating. I thought, you know what, I got some really great stuff in here. I'm going to make this. But the thing is, when I was making the record, I was literally visualizing, contemporary dance ensemble to this music. That was what was in my head. So the music was based on, people dancing, in that situation. But anyway, it did get frustrating. And eventually, I thought, well, I got a lot of fans out there. I can
Let them hear it. Yeah.
So I sort of reformed 10 of the tracks into this record, which is kind of freaky, experimental, but it's got some very beautiful textures and sounds on it that I had great fun doing in the studio. With millions of different, very quirky guitar pedals.
Uh-huh.
We're in the golden age of guitar pedals.
Gotta love that.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yep,
no,
I
I
hear
had
you.
great fun. I sit in my studio with them right under my face here, and I keep rewiring things until I get the weirdest possible sounds. And so the record reflects a lot of that, along with some killer guitar solos on my head.
Any thought to to take some of this out and play it for people live? Or?
Yeah, sort of long-ranging project for me personally on that. Next sort of touring thing for me, I think, would be to do a kind of a one-man show with visuals, a lot of visuals, a lot of the photography I've done, and kind of make some kind of psychedelic evening.
Yeah. Oh,
out of
and I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about the photography, and particularly as things got. Excuse me for 1 second. As things got kind of more tense with the band, more popularity, pressure, lots of stuff. Yeah. You seem to find your kind of sanctuary in photography. Is that how you felt about it?
Well, I think that's true to a certain extent. I mean, I think the word I used was autonomy. Like I could do this, and those weren't going to interfere with me. This was my thing.
Yeah, they can't do that.
No, I'm the dude with the camera.
Yeah.
So thank God I did, because I pretty much filmed the whole thing from day one till the end. And, I've gotten a lot of mileage out of it, which wasn't really the intention at the time. I was just having great fun doing, crazy photography as we went all over the world in all these hotels and everything, and I just documented. Then at some point I went, maybe I am actually making a document here. Yeah. And I got more serious about it, don't miss anything. Mm-hmm. But that took for a while for me to catch on to that, but I did pretty much do the whole career, which has resulted in many, many exhibitions and books and so on and so forth. And yet, it definitely was a sort of a sanctuary to some extent. But then it also became kind of intense. Towards the end, I thought, God, I'm doing 2 jobs, 24/7, full on. Mm-hmm. I was photographing everything and playing as well. Yeah.